In Texas Chainsaw Massacre, if you play as the family, you got 5 characters to choose from. They all share universal perks. To what degree is obviously something to keep in mind, because they do have unique perks as well, which are shown in this white aura. So that's something to keep in mind. White perks like this are unique to that one character only. But everything else is on the table. It's all universal, all accessible, and you can just use them whenever. So I want to explain the top 5 best perks for the family that you can use right now. There may be 5 to maybe 6, give or take, depends what you feel like and what you think will be the best for you. But I can tell you one straight away, it's going to be on Johnny, or be on Cook, Hitchhiker, and Sissy, because it's available on them, not on Leatherface, because it's a unique perk, and that perk is called Serrated. This perk right here. After hitting a victim, they take 1 damage every second for 5 seconds. That extra damage, alongside a high savagery build, can make those victims bleed out once they're going through crawl spaces, and you get an easy execution. So there's many opportunities to actually use this in gameplay, and it works really fast and really well. So if you have a high endurance build with it, high attack speed, you can actually stack the benefits of Serrated. So that 5 damage they take after during that a total of 5 seconds, that is stackable. That can stack as many times as you can, depending on how many hits you get on that opponent. That's pretty much it. So with 5 hits, they're going to take 25 damage over time. They just have to eat the damage. They cannot stop it in any way possible. That's why Serrated is very good on a high attack speed build with high savagery as well. It works wonders. So that's my number 1 spot, I'm going to say. You can put them in any order. Number 1, for sure, is going to be Serrated. It just feels like my bread and butter for when it comes to killing opponents, especially victims, like going around corners and killing them, and they go through a crawl space, they pretty much bleed out. I go there, execute them on spot. Perfect. Now let's talk about the second perk. The second perk is the perk called Scout. So this perk here does seem bad initially, because at level 1, it only gives you 5% movement speed. Like 5% movement speed, but a 30% reduction in damage? No way, why would you run that? That's shit. But at level 3, this perk now becomes a wonderful perk to have, with increased movement speed at 15%, and your melee damage is only reduced by 10%. And 10% could be 1-2 hits on a character like Johnny. On other characters, maybe 4 hits reduced in that damage output. But the constant pressure you get by chasing a target non-stop, and they have no chance to run away from you, on a character that already has such great damage output, is really fun. And this works on all characters too. So I want to keep that in mind, that these universal perks that we're talking about are accessible on all characters. So go back to the character screen, look at our loadout for Leatherface, and we have that there too. So it's a fixed perk, sometimes a random perk, depending on the skill tree as well, and that helps out. Characters that like Leatherface, where he has such huge damage naturally in his kit, in his base kit, having high movement speed to make sure he gets to a target to apply that high damage is very important. So that's why I really like this build with this character. So that's my second perk. That could even be number 1 in my opinion. It's just so beneficial. It's like number 1's tied with Serrated and this, but 1 and 2 you can put whatever order you want. And also, as we go through this list, tell me your top 5 best perks in the comment section down below and in the chat for the family. I'd love to know. So Scout, really good, works on all characters, it's perfect. Now the next perk right after that is Violent. So this is a perk that at level 1, when you do get a full blood vial, or full blood sack as we usually call, that is at 10% increase of damage towards your kit. Really nice. At level 3, it's 20%. And that 20% is no joke. This works on any character. And having 20% more damage after getting a kill, or collecting blood from a blood bucket, or using builds that are more blood orientated through blood harvesting, having your stat here increased higher, so anytime you swipe at a target, you're getting a shit ton of blood every time. On a character that has high attack speed and high blood harvest, like for example Sissy, it can work wonders. And you can run that perk as well. And 38 blood harvest naturally, plus this, and then running a perk like Surgical 2, you get so much blood, it's unbelievable. At level 3, that perk there is 100%. Tied in with this perk, you'll get to 100% capability of a full blood vial and get that 20% damage increase before the victim's even killed. So that's something to keep in mind. But if you do kill any victim in the game, you're usually having a full blood sack right after it. Because after the kill animation, it does give you blood, and that blood will usually fill up your amount, and you'll reach that damage increase. So that's my number 3 perk in the game, by far. Now, with these other perks, it depends on your playstyle, but we'll give them orders as well. The next one is going to be Easily Tucked Out, which is a perk that exists on some characters, or majority characters, right over here. Essentially, it's more of an endurance perk, or stamina regeneration perk. So that's something to keep in mind, where your attacks use 35% less stamina. The stamina regeneration rate is 50% slower. This can also go up to level 3, being 50% less stamina, and your stamina regeneration rate is 40% slower. So if you're able to manage this, what the idea is with this character, with any character using this perk, you actually hit more often. So when you're in a chase, when you have full stamina, and you haven't used the stamina bar earlier, you can chase target and keep swiping them, and you will not lose that much stamina. And with certain characters like Johnny, it works wonders because of his movement speed tech. That works beautifully with the character. But other times, you don't need to. So that's something to keep in mind. And then we go to the next aspect, which this works on any character. But the next aspect is kind of more unique. And that's being the perk called, do we have it here? Tracker Tag. There we go. So, information is very vital. As a solo player, information is your bread and butter. It'll make you win games. If there isn't any comms in the game, having this perk will help out everybody, yourself included. So Tracker Tag does give your whole team up to 5 seconds of information after you've hit a target. So after hitting a target with any basic attack of any form, with any character, you get 5 seconds of information at level 3. That aura is now shown to everyone on the map for all the families, and then they pretty much get that information and then now hone into the target from all sectors and kill that target. 5 seconds is a very good thing, and when you're already putting aggression towards the target, if they get away, that 5 seconds can help you read the other player, or play mind games with them, and then get them killed. And if your team's there, even better, because they get to use that information to their advantage and make sure to close that gap and get that kill. So that is my number 4/5, because now it gets a bit weird. I think that's number 5 at the moment, with Tracker Tag. And the other perk that is a universal perk, which exists on all characters, is going to be... Wait, let me find it. It's somewhere on my character, already unlockable, one of them. Someone has it. Someone has it. Who has it? Show me. It's over here, but I'll just showcase it. It's Universal Donor. So this perk here, at level 1, anytime you go to the blood buckets in the game, that is 20% increased blood every bucket. So anytime you collect blood from that bucket, that's 20%. And then increase that to level 3, you now get 40% blood from each bucket. And 40% is no joke on characters that have high blood harvest naturally, or if you increase the build for blood harvest. So many players actually use Cook, and since the Cook is a very slow character, and instead of putting the points into Savagery Endurance, they usually put the rest of the points into Harvest over here, and then run Blood Harvest perks. So whenever they get to a Blood Bucket, with a Universal Donor perk as their bread and butter, with Blood Harvest naturally higher, usually 2 or even 3 buckets, at most, you're pretty much full blood capacity, and you go to Grandpa, you get him to level 2 nearly. Just from 2 or 3 buckets. It's actually insane, and it's very good early game pressure. Obviously, this can be countered by certain perks like Agitator, but no one's really running Agitator, and everyone's just going for normal stabs. So if they go for normal stabs, it does decrease the benefit of what this build does. But if you get to level 5 sooner, those constant wall hacks is very beneficial. So it kind of works like the last perk, but with using Grappa as your benefit in order to get those wall hacks ongoing. So those are like the best perks in the game, in my opinion. The top 5/6 best perks for the family, which are very effective. And obviously, when you go down to unique perks, it does change. Some of the unique perks are way better, like security pins. Maybe you don't want to run that instead of running all the 5 or 6 perks I just mentioned. You'd run this instead, because it's made for the character. Certain things are just there, the uniques, you have to keep them in mind. But those are my top 5, top 6 best perks for the family in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Tell me your thoughts once again in the chat, in the comment section. I would love to know.